All right. Happy Thursday. We are here again in the mix talking some systems and automation mastery with Go High Level. You got Mickey Black, Jennifer J in the mix. Happy Thursday. How you doing?
Happy Thursday. I'm doing absolutely fabulous.
Awesome. Awesome. So today, last day of the week, we're going to talk about what it's all about, the reporting and analytics. So I think all the tactics really are driving towards what I like to say, I always like to say, making the register ring. And that reporting, analytics, tracking your conversions, that really tells the story. What is your, because I know High Level gets vast, so they can track your Facebook ads, Google ads, your call conversions, all the other stuff. How do you typically use that feature?
So for my call conversions, I don't do a lot of calls in the system because I take my meetings via Zoom. But and I'm not running ads, which I should be. But I can say that when I did run ads, it is so much more understandable to go into the back end of High Level's integration with the Facebook ads than going into your ads manager because that thing is confusing to me, right? But it make High Level makes it make sense, right? It gives you upfront in your face what stats are important, like how many clicks, how many conversions, how much money are you spending, and how much are you making, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it very easy to make sense. I think it's all about the user interface for the Facebook ads, and I will be running Google ads shortly, so I'll be able to analyze that data as well.
Cool. Do you track with your campaigns? So I know they'll have like attribution and source. And so a lot of times, whether it is that I'm driving traffic to a squeeze page or something with a certain campaign with a certain conversion, I notice it will break down my campaigns and show me the various performance metrics by campaign. Do you use that at all?
Yeah, I use that a lot. So especially here's a good use case. So let's say you put up a landing page, right? And now you're about to market to that landing page. I look at, okay, I know there's nothing when I first put it up, right? There should be nothing there. It will be your views will be counted. So you go look at the stats for that page and you write that down. You say, okay, I started with this. These are all my views. So really I started with zero. But you want to capture that so you know how to, to subtract that. Then you look at, okay, I marketed this page for, let's just say, a week. How many views did I get? How many unique views did I get? So unique views mean that's the first time they were looking at that page because it gives you total views and then it gives you unique views. So the
Mm-hmm.
unique views is what you want to look at. Then you want to look at further how many people visited my opt-in? What is my opt-in percentage? Did anyone opt in? If they didn't, why not? We need to go back and look at what it was, depending on your marketing that you were doing. If you marketed to like a big group or something, then yeah, you can analyze it. But if you're just like posting on social media, that's consistency and that's going to occur over time. So I look at those stats to evaluate the messaging on my page. Should I change anything? What should I do? Okay, they opted in. All right, I got a lot of opt ins, but it stopped there. It stopped. They didn't take advantage of the offer. Why? They were interested, but they didn't go further. So why not? And if you have your opt in right, now you could go back and ask them, like, hey, we noticed you opted in. Why didn't you take advantage of the offer? And so hopefully, your audience is engaging enough to give you that data so you can go fix it. Um, And you could just be honest, like, look, I'm trying to analyze why people didn't opt in or why you didn't take advantage of it. You know, we're all doing this for business. So help me help myself.
Mhm. Yeah, and I identify with the whole engagement level thing. And that's where I think keeping the lists in terms of your lists updated and making sure your lists stay quality of active users. Because I know some people like every few months will clean their list just to keep their metrics high, make sure they're always getting engaged users. Do you do any of that, like in terms of keeping your list clean?
I clean my list for bounced emails, meaning emails that were sent and rejected. I clean my list for unsubscribes, and that's it. I haven't gotten really deep into cleaning my list for engagements because sometimes people are busy, like I'm busy. And I understand the purpose of doing it, but high level doesn't ding you, it doesn't charge you for your contacts. So if you want to say, okay, only send this to people who have engaged with me within the past 90 days, then you could do that. But I'm not going to remove people from my list because it may not be their time. You know, when we talk about the customer journey, you're
Mm-hmm.
not looking for that. So, like, you got to give people time, especially depending on what you're offering. For me, I offer systems that's serious. And you really have to be in the mind space to say, okay, I am ready to seek help. I am really ready. Where is that Jennifer J? And they can Google, I mean, they can't Google me, but they can search inside their email for me. And now they're open to emails, right? So I don't ever want to take that away and kick people off my list for purpose of metrics. Because at that point, I could just do different strategies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer to it. I know what people are being told to do, but that's just what I do. And I have a pretty decent open rate when I send emails because it's not salesy. And if I am selling something, either they're ready or they're not. So it's just about how you structure your emails, what you're saying. Are you giving value? Are they eager to open it? The people that are opening it, then they're interested. So then send them something to help them and then send them an offer.
Good point. Good point. I like how you put it in terms of everybody coming to it in their own time, especially when you're talking about big ticket offer like digital marketing, those sorts of services, super engaged, and not a light decision. So a lot of times the decision journey on that is a long one. So I definitely think it's a good idea to keep those people on, nurture them, keep it fresh. So that's a um, good approach. So in terms of so I know people are curious because you said you have a good open rate. So what's your open rate, or what would be average for the industry? Because I know a lot of people get discouraged if it's not like super high, but it's a challenging thing. So what would be a typical open rate?
So the industry average is 32%. You want to be above 32%. Um, you really want to know my open rate? My
Yeah.
open rate is 75%.
Whoa, that is huge.
Yeah, yeah. And so I don't want to clean my list because they need help.
Got you. Got you.
Everybody may not be in the position where they can just take advantage of an offer right now. And I don't want impulse buyers. So
Fair
I'm not
point.
seeking impulse buyers. Some people may be like if you have a product or you're selling products, mugs or t-shirts or things like that, you do want the impulse buyer because it's a one-time buy. Mine is a relationship. We're building a relationship. So you have to get into this software and you have to be ready to use it because you're going to pay for it monthly. So I don't want you to impulse buy and then you cancel. I don't.
Yeah.
So that's why my open rate is so high because I'm giving the tips and everything. Now I haven't emailed in a minute. I'm not gonna lie, because I've changed directions of what I'm doing. But when I do email, my open rates are pretty high.
That is incredible. And I think that, that you've said a couple of things um, that really kind of explain why you said it's about relationships, and that focus on creating the relationship is probably why it's so high, because you're delivering value consistently over a prolonged period of time. It's not just like a quick hit or a quick transaction. So that is really encouraging. So, and I think from my experience, it's been really good. And I enjoy seeing the various ways they break out the what do they call it, the attributions, where your sales are coming from, how people are converting, and it's almost like an education for you to see how people are engaging, whether it's with your offer or some of the tactics or where they're coming from. So have the analytic reports or reports at all changed? Have you ever had strategy where you change your strategy in terms of how you're communicating in response to the reports?
Absolutely. So the reports will tell you. So like you look at the reports and you see your leads, you see your conversions, and you see, you know what you've done. If you've been consistent over a period of time and now you're looking at your reports and they're not working, something is not working, you know immediately, oh, I need to get more leads in and I need to have more conversations. Because when I have conversations, my conversion, I'm converting on those conversations. So, what do I need? More conversations. Well, how do I get more conversations? More leads. Well, how do I get more leads? I'm either going to adopt one of these lead generation strategies that I put in this lead playbook, lead generation playbook, and get out here more. And so that's just that. So when I look at my report, I'm like, oh, you need to bring in more leads so you can have more conversations, so you can book more calls. All right, you need to start going back live because that's when that generates leads. Or you need to start posting more because when you post, people show up and people remember, oh, Jennifer, I need you. I'm so glad you posted that. Do you know how many times I've posted something and they're like, oh my goodness, I need to get on your calendar. So
Yeah.
you know the activities that you're doing that's going to generate traffic. You just need to do more of them.
Yeah.
So those reports help you, especially with high level, because it tells you where they come from. Like it's telling you, even if you have ClickFunnels, it'll tell you it came from ClickFunnels. Even if you're posting on social media, it came from social media. They clicked that link on your Instagram. It tells you where they come from. So you know, oh, well, let me go over here because this is where more of the traffic is coming from. Now you're able to analyze and make those decisions like, okay, I need to focus more of my attention over here because that's where more of the traffic is coming from. And then you can at that point analyze, okay, was that quality traffic or not? So do I want quality traffic? Do I want more traffic or do I want quality traffic? So and you just have to make those informed decisions. But that attributions report, I just looked at it this morning because I did a training last night and they asked me about reports. And I was solely looking at the conversion report. Well, come May 31st, they're getting rid of the conversion report and you're just going to have to use the attribution report,
Oh.
which gives you all that. It gives you more
Yeah.
data anyway than the conversion. So it's really good. So if you're using high level, go in that attribution report and play around with the dates and see like your trends over time, like you've been doing. So, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, what did I do that week?
Yeah, and that's the good thing about being able to see the trends over time. And I like that piece, especially in the agency view, where you get to see the growth, you get to see how many customers are in whatever category, so, and it's encouraging, and you get to see the month over month, and then you're looking at, oh, I'm tracking this far for this month, maybe I need to heat it up or whatever. But it's good to have a dashboard, have that performance sort of laid out right in front of you so you're keyed in to what you're doing and how you're tracking. And it's interesting you talk about the lead generation strategy, because next week maybe we'll jump into that in terms of lead generation and how to use the tools in action. So I know we've talked about specifically the features, but maybe next week we jump into some of the strategies to make them come to life. Like, how do you build out a sequence? What sort of content do you drop in those email sequences? So maybe we'll jump into that a little bit next week.
Yeah, we can definitely do one lead generation strategy a day.
Boom. I'm into it. I'm into it.
Oh,
I'm
let's
into it. All right. Cool.
see you
So
next week.
see you next week. Later, people.